So today's video is really in the category of inspiration, and I talk a lot about blooming, and it's important to also remember where this all starts, and it comes back to the seed stage. The beginning of the cycle is we are within this seed stage, and it's so fun. Actually, I'm eating a mango popsicle, and everybody knows mangoes are so wonderful and juicy, and they have this big seed in the middle, and all that wonderful juicy fruit is really meant to feed that seed. And I think it's so wonderfully appropriate because it's so important to feed seeds and to feed our own seed stage and our own seed self when we're in that place of starting anew and the beginning of a cycle. And as we feed our seeds, it supports us in sprouting. And sprouting is so essential, such an essential expansion so that we can grow and become fully blooming into our glorious selves. And I'm burning a little sage today to cleanse the energy and make way for the new, to create sacred space and a place to sprout and bloom. You have always had the power. You have always had the gift. And it's okay if you've forgotten or think you never knew. But the time is now, my darling, to open up and bloom. And it's important to remember that before blooming, there is sprouting. Before that, there's seed, and seed is really, when we're in a seed stage, it's kind of like when the phoenix has gone through her death and she is her ashes, and she doesn't know that she doesn't know. You know, it's that place of being in unconsciousness or before consciousness, before awareness, before thought, before we stepped out of the matrix, so to speak. Before the new cycle began. That's seed stage, all right? And then we have sprouting. All right, so sprouting is when we begin to know that we can, and we begin to crack the shell, and we begin to sprout, explore, grow. It's the beginning, the new of the cycle. And I have a piece of art and a brief little story I desire to share with you today. So this piece of art I made and gifted to my husband back in 2009. I was in the end of my first trimester, or possibly the beginning of my second trimester, pregnant with our beautiful boy, Victory Micah Stahl, who's 4 years old. And I was pregnant with him at the time when I painted this, and it was the first painting I had done in a lot of years. I was an active artist as a teenager. I was actually making money selling my art as a teenager and getting so many great reviews from people in my world that I had potentially what it took to really be a successful artist and that be my career. And I knew it was my calling, and I made a lot of art. And then I became pregnant with my beautiful daughter, Dagan, who is now 13, Dagan Rain. And when I was pregnant with her, I really stopped like painting and creating, and I remember thinking, what happened? Where did all my creative fire go? But you know what? All that fire was focused in that sprout and in that baby and in bringing my child into fruition and blossoming and blooming into being a mama. And I know that now, but it was years after that that I only dabbled and played in my art and my writing and all my creative passions. I was so focused on being a young mama, and that's where all my creative juices were focused, you know. And then when I was pregnant with my son years later, they're 9 years apart, I began to feel the need and the call to paint again. And this was my coming back into painting, and it's still my husband's favorite. It's not, in my opinion, my best work. That doesn't really matter. But the point is that this painting is all about sprouting and the beginning of new life and new growth. And it says, "My fiery hand within my mighty tree, I sprout and shout and grow." And it's that fire of new life, of new birth, of the beginning of something great and, you know, new life. And I just really choose to share with you how important it is to let the new come. Sometimes when we're at the end of a cycle, or when we're feeling big emotion and that there's an unknown, there's an uncertainty about what's next, where do I go from here, how do I move forward? Allow yourself to know that you are growing too, that there is a death and, you know, the ashes, you know, that happen, but new life is coming, and new life sprouts and grows from that. And we are meant to be the heroes and heroines of our own stories. And as one cycle ends, we are meant to create and birth and sprout a new cycle. And know that those cycles continue. Death happens, birth happens. And I don't just mean on the grander scale of you know, we're born and we die. All throughout our lives, all throughout the story of our lives unfolding, we will have these cycles where things are starting, things are ending. We are in seed stage and unaware perhaps, and then we sprout, and then we create, and then we build and blossom and really fully become the fullness of whatever that cycle is. And then that blossom, you know, may shrivel and may, you know, need to go back into the winter time, and then new life will come again from that. And so let us remember to celebrate the cycles, celebrate the seasons of our being and our lives, celebrate our emotions and our fire, and celebrate our humanness. Because these cycles are part of what makes us human, and it's so essential. It's part of nature. Nature is full of cycles, and everything in nature has cycles. And we, being part of nature, are just, you know, going through cycles. But we continue to grow too, and to go through these cycles in our next level. It's not just like the same old thing over and over and over again, although it may feel that way sometimes. Know that you are continually new, and we get to sprout and then bloom and unfold into our newness. And we can do that together. I am doing my own version, and I'm so grateful to be able to share this with you and to know that you have your own version. We are in this together. And we are stronger together. So let us continue to support each other and thrive together and sprout and bloom and live our glorious lives full throttle. All right. Remember, please, to like, comment, and subscribe below, and share the love, you know? Let's do this.